So this is weird.
What made you decide to go to Midwest DJs Live?
Well, it's in our backyard. I mean, it's over in Milwaukee, and
Oh,
and you have been so you haven't been a part of the world here for the last week and a half because your wife has a baby, and all of a sudden you go from 1 to 2, which is really like going from 1 to 7. So I'm surprised you're even awake today.
and you're not a very good friend.
Well, somebody's got to keep the business running.
Well, because
Someone's
you
got
go
to do the
traipsing
show.
all over the country instead of staying here in case I need you for something.
Hey, I'm a father of 2. I knew exactly what you were going to go through, so I left.
Oh, so I'm supposed to
Nobody
call your
helped
girls?
me.
Is that what I'm
No
supposed to
one
do?
helped, no one helped me. I don't know how the heck you're going to get any help out of this.
Oh,
You
well,
know?
hey, thanks for paying it forward.
You
Mr.
know
No
how it
one
is
helped
with us
me.
parents. Us parents, we know how we suffered. So when we see other people suffer, we want to see more of it.
You just wanted me to have the full experience. Well, thank you.
Welcome.
You're awesome. So, your awesomeness, tell me what's going on at Midwest DJs Live this year. It's pretty cool to have something this close to us in Wisconsin.
It's been really cool. Yesterday was a full day of really great speakers, and then we just got done with Andy Ebon. Andy Ebon is one of those guys that knows more about internet marketing and SEO development and website optimization to be able to make sure you can get to your customers than anybody I've ever met. And I was very lucky to get to know him about 4 years ago. I met him first in Las Vegas, and he lives there in Las Vegas. This is Andy right here. Say hi, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Hi, Andy. Hi, everybody. And hi, Jason.
So, and Andy was talking today about, I got the second part today. He had 2 parts because there's so much going on with this
Okay,
sort of
don't
thing.
even try to get a double shot. Either put the camera on you or put it on him. It's
Okay, so-
the 2 half faces just drive me crazy. There, get real close. There you go.
So,
Just snuggle in
Andy-
with each other.
I was hoping Andy would tell us a little bit in his own words, because he's going to do a much better job of it, of exactly what kind of stuff he was telling us about. Well, first, tell us kind of where you're from and where you started, and didn't you also start out as a musician before you even went into DJing?
Well, I took years of jazz piano, but I went on to start my DJ work in nightclubs in Manhattan, which was sort of starting at the top and going from there. After about 5 years of that and graduating college, I moved up to San Francisco and began my mobile DJ career, which lasted over 20 years in 2 companies and 2,000 weddings and God knows how many other things. But it was a fun period. My first company started right behind 2 months ahead of Saturday Night Fever. So better to be lucky than smart. And even though I left the industry as an active DJ in the late 90s, I've stayed active in being a thinker as a DJ and now lean on my marketing as my strength in my career. And I do lots of public speaking and marketing.
So as a public speaker is where you've done most of your work right now. I'm assuming that started when the world changed and got away from Yellow Pages and into the cyber world, and somebody had to kind of know how things were going. You learned the commando way, didn't you?
Well, yeah, it's funny when you think about it. When I started my first mobile DJ company, there wasn't even a section in the Yellow Pages for disc jockeys. That came years later. But by the time I ended, it was the start of the internet, and I went after website development, and then I found I had a knack for making technically complicated stuff easy for people to understand in the way I presented it. And then I felt I would call on my college degree of marketing and the latest marketing technology of the 90s and to the present to work with entertainers, disc jockeys, hospitality, and the like. And that's become my strength.
And one of the things that you talked the most about when it came to all of this stuff, especially today and yesterday, was about blogging. And blogging seems to be one of those things that a lot of guys are really afraid of for one reason or another. Sometimes it's because I'm not a good writer, or do I have the time? If you had advice for somebody who's just now, and if you're going to do blogging, you probably should have been doing it a while ago. But if you're just now getting into it, what were the first couple of things you'd tell them to dive into first?
Well, I would first say that blogging is the most important marketing tool that you can have. You should start with a blog. The blog software these days is now what's called CMS, or content management software, so you can control your blog and your website all under one roof, and then use other social media to share your posts about industry things, events you're working, seminars you've been to, all the things that would be interesting to prospects, to peers, and to the media. And I would say the hardest part of blogging is to learn how to come up with ideas to blog about, and that was part of the issue today, of helping people, learn the strategies. And then the overall thing is that when you post to a blog rather than update your website, it being the blog, automatically notifies the search engines of your new content. It says, hey, we've got new content over here. So you're constantly pinging the search engines, and it'll improve your search engine ranking immediately. And it was fine that I said it, but the other person that also said that state of blogging is the number one thing is Sonny Ganguly of Wedding Wire. And it's nice when you say it and have it validated by the smartest guy in the room.
Well, it's funny too. I know there's a lot of people who do blogs now, and I've talked to some men and women who, it's just kind of like journaling, right? I mean, I get a press site, a WordPress site, and I just start typing things in there, and then once a day I got to put something in there. I mean, when it comes down to that, it has more to do with the content, I'm assuming. And I mean, what are the mistakes they're making when they just say, well, all I got to do is do a blog, right? And then I put it up, right?
Well, a couple things. One is small business owners tend to talk in the first person, and they say, I'm so thrilled we're recognized on Wedding Wire or The Knot or whatever the case may be. And it's like, you need to flip that around in a third person that says Wedding Wire honors Music Man with Couples Choice Awards, and then write your story about it. If you could position yourself as a company and not as one guy working out of their garage. And as Seinfeld would say, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you want to give the impression of being a professional, and that when you learn all those tools and you use the features within WordPress to optimize your posts so that they're search engine ready, and really develop your own voice and your own style, then you will be successful. The thing I advise people today to do is, search other businesses of your type in other parts of the country, not from across the street. See what you find that you like, and see what you find that you don't like, and avoid the things that are lousy, and develop your own style to represent your company, and then you'll be successful with it.
That's great. So now, where are you going to be next over the next couple of months? Do you remember? Yeah. Do you know? Have you do your calendar that well?
Roughly, I will be sliding down to Chicago for Wednesday night this week, the 15th, and I'll be speaking at the Chicagoland ADJA chapter at the end of the month. I've been speaking for Wedding Wire on their behalf for about a year, and I'll be speaking at what I call a schmooze and education session in Salt Lake City on the final Tuesday of this month. I go from there to speak at the Bridal Show Producers International Conference in San Diego. Follow that immediately with another Wedding Wire event for area businesses in San Diego. And then big things coming in the fall. I'll be speaking at the Las Vegas DJ show, and following that, Wedding MBA. I'm an anchor presenter. I've been speaking there for about, 7 years.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm just delighted that you were able to have some time to sit in with us on our Bill and Jason show. And again, thank you very much. Andy Ebon, national speaker. And if you want to know more about Andy, you can go to andyebon.com.
That's it. That's simple. See you there.
Awesome. Beautiful. And read his blog posts.
Yes, he's got great blog posts. So,
all right, Bill. So now, what did you learn from that?
I learned that Andy knows more about this than I do.
Oh, you weren't listening, were you? You're terrible. So what's your first blog post going to be?
It's going to be about how I met a guy who's going to teach me how to do more blog posts. That's what it's going to be.
Well, I can't wait for you to come home and teach me all the strategies to come up with great topics for the blog.
Well, I think you and I kind of fall back on what do we got to write? We're doing a video blog. But then, we assume that actually people click on our little Dog and Pony show and actually watch it. So,
right,
exactly. So now, the rest of the time here, I'm getting a chance to meet a lot of the disc jockeys from specifically the Midwest. This is a really good regional show.
Great.
There are men and women here from as far north as the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and people out in Ohio. We've got South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois. Everyone is in this little Upper Midwest area really well represented. And this year they're at a really nice hotel. The hotel rooms are really great.
That's awesome. About how many people?
I'm looking at about a little more than 100 people. And
that's a great attendance.
Up percent from last year. So they're building and going strong, and they're doing.
Are you seeing a lot of new faces? Because you know a lot of guys, a lot of the regulars that show up.
I am seeing a lot of new faces, and that's one of the things that's so encouraging about this show is, you and I have been to enough shows over the years that we see the same faces, and we wonder, what can we do to make the industry stronger? What can we do to reach out to the newest part of the industry? And when we go to these shows and see the same faces, it worries us a little bit. Well, the Mobile Beat show, we saw tons and tons of new and young men and women who are looking to create extraordinary. And the same thing happened here, maybe not in the amount of numbers, because in Las Vegas we had, I think we.
Well, that's a national show. You can't compare that.
Show. But here, everyone is here is very engaged, very excited about what's going to happen within their industry, and it's all been really, really cool so far. I'm about to go have some lunch. I'm going to go over to the showroom floor, which has been really well attended as well. So I'm excited and pleased that here in Milwaukee we can have something just as extraordinary as anywhere else in the country, and have colleagues that we know in our backyard come together and really work on doing what we need to strengthen an industry that we're working to do all the time.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, go have some lunch, get yourself fortified, and say hi to everybody for me, and have fun. Don't forget to have fun. I know you're all work.
Yeah. No, I went to bed last night at 7 after a little yoga.
You got to stay up till 10 at these events.
Facial. I soaked my feet. I called my mother. I said a prayer for you, and I went to bed.
Well, leave the prayer in, but everything else is optional. All right. Hey, good. Have a great time. I can't wait to get the full update. Take lots of good notes so that I can learn something when you get back.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks again. And hey, and thanks again for being a part of the Bill and Jason show. As Jason and I always say, go to the website, go to our blog.
and watch from my new video blog, How to Burp a Baby in 7 Steps. Did I say that right? 7 steps? Next
week, have Hugo on. Have Hugo actually on the show, and you can sit there and deal with him.
Well, I think actually if you just
hold on to your 3-day-old boy,
you should just
do a show.
Do the show with Hugo. It would be more entertaining.
Yeah, whatever. Give my best home there, and thanks again for being a part of the Bill and Jason show. We'll see you all next time.
Next week.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.